Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. We are back with more Daredevil Season 3. We're up to Episode 8. It is feeling like forever. Not necessarily in a bad way, but anyway, this is Episode 8. It's called Upstairs, Downstairs. So full spoilers if you haven't seen the episode. Upstairs, Downstairs. So this is one of the things I should talk about for this season. A couple of things here before we really get started. One is I've said that this is my least favorite. And it's like the least, it's the Kingpin show, really. And that's not wrong. And I kind of have decided that I need to change my way of looking at this. I need to look at this, I guess, kind of like, I feel like what they're doing this season is kind of trying to do like a Christopher Nolan crime thriller season, more than a superhero show. And what The Dark Knight did, and I know some people don't agree with this, some people do, that The Dark Knight is more of a crime thriller with superheroes in it than a comic book movie about crime. And so that's how I'm going to choose to look at it. Some people maybe won't agree with that, but this is a crime thriller with superhero characters in it for this season, mostly, the way that they're handling it. And another thing about it is it reminds me a lot of this other movie that's a crime thriller, and that's The Departed. And a couple of things that made me think of that is you've got a really bad guy who's working with the FBI and giving up other bad guys so that he can take control of things and then still secretly be doing things for himself, which is just like kind of like Jack Nicholson's character in The Departed. Also like The Departed, you've got a guy working on the inside at the FBI who is secretly working for the bad guy and, doing his own things, which is Bullseye. So just thought I'd mention that, and then you've got Matt, who kind of reminds me of DiCaprio, who's living this double life, trying to stop the bad guy, but having to act like he's somebody else on the outside world. So, I don't know if anybody else thinks that's kind of accurate, but it kind of occurred to me in this episode, what I was watching. Another thing is the different ways that this show, this season, has done unique things, like the black and white flashback. Just trying new things, new shots, ways to make things interesting. And like concept episodes a little bit. And like Upstairs, Downstairs, there's a lot of repeating themes in it. Like he's up, upstairs, downstairs, like he's up, she's down. With Bullseye's apartment, he's upstairs, they're in the downstairs apartment. Or he's in the downstairs apartment, in his apartment, and Matt and the FBI agent are upstairs. You've got later on at the end, you've got the nun in the upstairs of the church and Matt in the downstairs of the church. Even, I guess, well, what was it, the end of the last episode? No, that was the end of the last episode. That doesn't really matter. I feel like that there's just a whole lot of repeating themes in this. This episode also has something that I don't like, which is the grand gestures by Foggy and Karen to try to do something that ends up like you have this impressive build-up that leads to nothing. And I hate it when they do that, because both these characters are in conflict with each other and don't even know it. They're both trying to do the same thing, but both of them are like Foggy goes to the DA, ball or whatever it is. And Karen's supposed to be there to help Foggy with his thing that he's doing, confronting the DA in front of everybody else, which it's not a court of law. He's just trying to get it out there. Kind of like when somebody's talking in court and they tell you not to listen, it's not like everybody's going to suddenly go deaf or forget what they just heard, especially with everybody's cameras out. But she doesn't show. She was supposed to go to the bulletin and give that story to them about Fisk and how he's been taking out all his competition. But instead, she doesn't. And that bugged me because this is a girl who wasn't afraid to hide with the Punisher in a blasted out restaurant. But she can't walk into the newspaper building to give them a story. Just so she can do something that, and so Foggy gives this great speech, and it's really great and impressive and means nothing because he figures out what Karen's doing, and really what the DA says is, this doesn't hold up in court. You're giving a nice speech, but pff. So he takes off, and in the meantime, instead of going in and giving the story to the paper, she goes to confront Fisk to try to get him to get emotional. And it almost works. And we have this great speech and this great back and forth between the two of them, which is really great. And when he and her when he thinks he's finally got the upper hand on her, and he does, that is when she finally decides to say, fuck it, and tell him about Wesley. And the way she does it and the way she talks about it and slowly building up to her telling him that she emptied the clip into him to get an emotional reaction was great. It was a great tense scene. It meant nothing because in walks Foggy to save her. So she diffused his plan by not showing up. I don't know what was going to happen if she had shown up. And he diffuses her plan by showing up at the right exact possible moment that Fisk was going to snap and put himself in the way of the FBI, forcing them to put him back in jail for probably killing her. At that point, I don't think she cared. And honestly, I kind of wanted her to sacrifice herself. I kind of wanted to see her get killed. Not because I don't like the character, but because I thought it would have been a fitting way to get Fisk. Except, again, we're in episode 8. But, it's like how Kingpin killed Ben Urich at this moment of Ben's realization of what was going on. Kingpin kills him. And then it's the same situation here where Kingpin finds out information where Karen's telling him that she killed Wesley. Him killing her would have been like kind of a full circle, like, another thing. Maybe they just wanted to do something different. But again, both plans blow up and mean nothing. All these great speeches mean, and lines and writing mean nothing. So you've got great dialogue, but terrible writing, in my opinion. This show can't quite hold up to like the Dark Knights. The Dark Knight's not the best example of a crime thriller either. It's a good comic book crime thriller, but good crime thrillers shouldn't have you doing this kind of thing. I just don't agree with a lot of the writing in this. I feel it's really cliche, really telephoning it in, like real obvious stuff that's happening because of the way that the season is structured. And while I'm enjoying the scenes when they ultimately don't mean anything, when they ultimately don't really get you any really further except inching along, it's a little disappointing. The scene though where the FBI agent and Matt are in Bullseye's apartment, which again is another thing, like we're really not going to get Bullseye, like the real Bullseye. We're getting the realistic Christopher Nolan-esque Bullseye. And that's fine as long as I think of it in crime thriller terms and not in superhero shows. Because I got to temper my expectations, right? I guess I should be happy that we're getting any version of Bullseye again instead of being disappointed. Because when they show him doing his powers and stuff, it's really cool. Like ricocheting the bullets and stuff. It's really cool. We're just not getting enough of that. And we're seeing him easily manipulated by Fisk. I mean, the guy is a psychopath. And why he keeps all that evidence around, people say you keep shit around because you really want to get caught secretly. I like how they had the thing where they killed that Julie girl and were planning on killing Bullseye if things didn't go their way. They had the same guys with the same tarps. It was sad that Julie got killed though, because she's just an innocent in this and just doesn't even know it. Like she's just walking around thinking, and people are painting her apartment. Boom, you're out of existence. You are erased from history. So I guess the other, so they don't really find the FBI agent. It's just like, well, we don't have anything really. So that's kind of, again, wasted moment. There's nothing there really that they can do anything. It's just our characters know things that they can't prove in law court or whatever. It's all just, we're all just building up to those last couple of episodes where everything's just going to fall into place. Which again, if you had like shorter episodes orders, you could do this in a more concise way. Tighten it up. Just tighten it up so that you don't have all this extra crap that you don't need. Make it 10 episodes, man. You cut 3 hours of show. That gets think about all the unnecessary stuff that you can cut out for 3 hours worth of stuff. But the revelation at the end that the nun is Matt's mother is pretty interesting. I did not see that coming. Just because, you've had the priest for the first 2 seasons, and he's still in this, but then having the nun take over, I guess in retrospect, I'm not surprised. Because a lot of these street-level shows have had big parental situations going on, with Jessica Jones season 2 and her mother, and Luke Cage having having his relatives show up, and Iron Fist being a whole bunch of family stuff, that it's not surprising that Daredevil has all of a sudden revealed a mother character in it too. Kind of a theme. Guess I don't really care that they've done it this many times, and that but it's a nice little wrinkle. It's a nice little interesting thing. Is it adding more drama, unnecessary drama? Probably. But I guess it's not hurting anything. It's not hurting the story, except, I don't know, if it makes Matt unable to do what he needs to do in the end, I guess that would suck. Either way, this was a pretty well solidly crafted episode, even though parts of it meant nothing. So anyway, if you like this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, we will see you on episode 9, probably in the next hour and a half. So see you later and have a great day. Bye.